This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last class, we were discussing on the warehouse. We have done the warehouse creation. Okay, I'll just recap on the warehouse creation also. And then we are discussing on the storage types. How the storage types look like, how the configuration of the storage types work will be there. We have last time we have done the high-rack storage type, and we have seen the rack storage type. Okay, so and we are discussing on the put away strategies. So there are multiple put away strategies are there. So put away strategies will determine the destination bin at the put away level. We have multiple put away strategies here. We have the manual entry, we have the fixed bin, general storage, and we are addition to existing stock, empty storage bin. We are discussing on all these things. I'll recap on all them and then we'll continue further. Okay. So I'll open the system. I'm opening the system one second.
Ron, what is the user that you are using now? Ram? Ram? Hello?
Hi, Oscar. I think Ram could not hear your voice. Not sure what happening.
Oh, no, it was in mute. Do you get other user to get the connection to the system?
No, not yet.
So it's only one user for everybody?
I just joined today. Today is my first class, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
yet to I'm yet to get any connection details.
Okay, okay. But did you get the video the last week?
Hmm. No, I was not. I was not in the class last week. Today is my first class.
Oh, no, but you have to request the video for the last week.
Okay, yeah, I would have a catch up session.
Okay.
But I'm not able to hear Ram. So are you guys
Can
able
you also not able to hear?
No.
Yeah. Sorry, I was on mute. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. So I'll just recap it again.
So Ram, are you creating the new warehouse again?
Just a recap itself only. So
But
I'm
this,
just
this because this
huh?
looks like a different server.
No, it's not a different server. It is the same server. It is S4 HANA only. So the GUI has got a difference. So GUI has got 9.4 GUI and 9.5, 7.54 GUI and 7.5 GUI. Okay. So the next one, last one which we have taken is like it is a 7.51. So when you take see in this one, here you'll have the options. When you get into the options, here you'll have multiple things how your UI looks like. Okay, so that UI is taking a bit more time. Okay,
Okay.
so that's why this UI is we are using this one. It is occupying a bit less space and uh, its response time is good.
Okay. And the one which you have created in last two sessions, so you will continue with this or you will create a new one?
See, Naman, we can create number of ones. Okay, so we'll continue with the last one itself only. RO06 what we have done. I'm just creating a new one for the recap. Okay, for
Okay,
the
no
new
problem.
people. That's what only. So here we'll copy the warehouse number. So anytime as we have discussed, like we have the plant or the across the SAP, will be taking it as a copy. Most of the time we'll copy and then we'll create. Okay. So in the same way here also we'll take the example as 50A1. And we'll take it as like RO66. Enter and copy. So here the warehouse will get copied here. Okay. So the same thing which we have done in the last week also. We'll come
Okay.
back from here.
Hey Ram, this
Yeah.
is Govin. Can
Yeah.
you give a bit of explanation on the naming convention you choose to define the warehouse number? Just now
So
you
here,
mentioned R066, right?
yeah,
So it
yeah.
would be, yeah. Can you just walk through?
So as far as the naming the convention here is like will not have much of a specific one. We just taken last time it is like RO06. That's why I've taken here it as a RO06 is the warehouse which we are working now. So last time which we have created. For a reference sake, now I have created it as like a RO66. These things which will be there in your requirement gathering. See in your requirement gathering when the list of values are identified, you will identify all the list of values in this one. See, most of the time how you will see is like based on the country name or based on the city name or based on the plant name. So they'll be creating the giving the naming. Okay. So in the warehouse, because in the requirement gathering and when you are building the list of values, at that time you will have the discussion with the business, and based on the business naming convention, you will have that one. Here we will not have a much of a specific one. So we just take it as like RO06 in the last time, and now I have taken it as like RO66. So when you are in the actual this thing, your rollout or implementation, then you will have the naming will happen across. If you have in US, Europe, and Asia Pacific, if they're having a multiple way, for example, 150 warehouses are there. So according to the place and city, they'll have the naming convention is dependent, like, so which can be identified easily, and which can be according to the norms of a business also. So business will create some norms in naming. Okay, so that there you will have that.
I guess the SAP naming convention will not be defined by business persons, right? It should be proposed by SAP consultant.
No,
Then
no, no, no. SAP consultant will give an idea on that, but the business will see. The business side of the SAP people will be there, right? Any implementation, you'll have the team from the SAP also. So SAP
not
team also will be
necessarily.
there.
Not
See,
necessarily, because there are many companies they don't use SAP at all, right? They use any
no,
legacy system. They use as Excel file to track the business.
yeah, that's where also whenever the implementation is happening, they'll have a team from. Okay, you might have seen that one. So with the see, whenever there is a plan is happening, they'll pick a team. Okay, it's a preparation plan will be there. So they'll pick the senior team there, or who has got the functional knowledge, and they'll give them the training and all, and then they'll be having. See, whatever the list of values, decision on the list of values is dependent always on the business itself. Okay, SAP will tell that. For example, warehouse number can be created as 4-digit one. That we can tell. Okay, so but the number name, what exactly it need to be? Is it need to be ABCD or DCBA? So that is a decision from the business. Okay, so it's a requirement gathering part, and whatever the name is, like, say whatever the number, it is SAP. Our function as a functional consultant, your job is to create the warehouse, whatever the number they give is like. And if you are participating in the that means in the naming convention, and all, you can put your point. You whatever you feel, you can put your point also there. This is how it goes. Okay. And in the defined warehouse numbers, so when you see there, so we'll see this one here. So when you get into the description, you can change the description here. You can give the description as like RO66 S4 EWM test create form. And one more thing I want to clear you here, this is IDAS system, and whatever we create, it does, there is no assurance that it will remain. Okay, so anything can get collapsed or anything can be wiped out at any point of time. So there can be some of the settings will completely can evaporate also, and anybody can change, and sometimes their base team also will change this one. Okay, so we need to work on with that one. Okay, this is the IDAS system, it is a public system, as we all know that. So okay, so once we give the name here, we'll just save this. ATR will get created, and then you just save it, and then we'll go back. So now the warehouse RO66 is ready. Okay. And then in the storage types, so so we have the standard storage types like high rack storage type, rack storage type, and so once we copy the warehouse, all the storage types will get copied here. Okay, this first the point. And second level is like most of the time across your all the regions, you will have the similar kind of a warehouse will look like. Okay, this is how exactly the warehouses will look like. This is going to be the same exactly across also. Okay, there is no much of a thing can be brought over into the business. High rack anywhere looks like in the similar fashion itself, only we have multiple number of models here. So this one rack looks like the same itself only. Okay, and then further we have the general storage area. It's an open area, so there is it's an open floor. Okay, and then we have this is also an example for the general storage area, and I've shown you all these things. Okay, so now we are getting into the configuration of the storage type. This is the bulk example for the bulk. Okay, so whenever we are creating this one, we'll copy this one. Okay, so for example, when we are creating it is like hi10. So regarding the storage types also, the nomenclature, how they give, it depends on the business. Okay, business will have will be giving a name, so it is their space. It's a kind of they live in there, so they'll provide like how exactly it need to be defined or whatever exactly they are currently defining or currently what they are uh, identifying, like, how they are identifying, because it's only the naming is like to identification purpose. Okay, so the users which are noted, okay, or else any kind of a naming which is very conventional. Okay, that's how in the requirement gathering the discussions will be happening. Okay, you can also suggest, and you can as a consultant you can put in your point once you are in the warehouse and once you are gone through all those areas. Okay, so then you can put in your point, and whatever the number name is like, it doesn't matter for us, because for us it's a value only. So we'll consider them as, that's why we list of values. For us it is a value. Okay, for the business it is because they live with that one, they have a different conception with that one, but for us as a functional consultant it's a kind of a value. Okay, and then we have discussed on the storage type role. So as we have multiple kinds of uh, locations across the warehouse, okay, that's what we have discussed. And the hierarchy is like, and the people who knew is like last time videos are there with you, you can go through that. Okay, so we're continuing, I just recap on the important one, which is a creation of the warehouse number, and then further I've shown you the warehouse storage types, like, okay, so we're just creating the storage types now, where we have completed in the last week. From there I'll pick it up now. Okay, so any of the queries you have, we can discuss tomorrow or in the next classes. Okay, so the standard storage type which we have taken. Okay, and then in the last class we have discussed on the storage type behavior and confirmation for put away, and then put away rules also. We have discussed on the empty storage bin and the addition to existing stock. At the both the levels we have discussed on that. Okay, and now this is at the put away rules at the 5, which is the empty storage bin. Okay, And we discussed on the max number of bins. Max number of bins is something like if you are keeping a number there, system will consider that number. If you are not giving any number to the system will take maximum number of bins which you want to create. Okay, and then fixed bin users will come up in the next level. Okay, so there is HI10 which we are creating has got created. Okay. And the second one is a rack storage. Okay. You can take that one as like RK20. The role is the same standard one. Okay. We'll just remove the fixed bins. So this is the addition to existing stock one here. Okay, this is all where last time also we have seen this one. Okay, so let's conclude this. Enter and save. So rack has got created. Okay, RK20 has got created here. We'll get in further. The next one is like the general storage area. So here we have general storage area. I've shown you the general storage area. It's an open space. Okay. So general storage area is like we have the strategy also for that. Okay, we'll see that. It's also a general storage area where the packing materials are stored. So a kind of some subject matter expertise also is like while storing, like how the parts and material can be stored. So not everything can be stored in a general storage area. It's like in the open space. Okay. Example, these are all the pallets or the packing materials, and for them the structure is not required. Business would not like. But anytime the structure means like it's a spend. You need to spend that money, and then it locks with the it definitely require a kind of a strategy. Okay, so based on the strategy itself only, the physical level of the warehouse will be built. Okay, here there are two levels. One is a physical level system which we are creating in the warehouse. We have the structure part, or how the based on the put away strategy, how the space will look like. For example, here it is an open area. General storage will be taking it like, and bulk in the next level will come into the bulk one. So based on the decision of the business and how the requirement of, based on the requirement also. Okay, and one more example for the general storage area is like this is the one. And one more thing, we'll take the general storage area as a whatever strategy level in multiple storage type, where we receive the parts or metal. This is the ZR area. Imagine this is the ZR area. This is also considered like in the next level we'll see that. Okay, This is how exactly the general storage area will look like, and is very widely used one. So most of the warehouses will have this one. We'll see that. So this is the whatever rule is the general storage area. We'll enter and we'll save. So your general storage area is done. In the next level, we have the bulk storage. Okay, so here bulk storage has got, it's a standard storage type. Okay, we'll take this one as like BK40. We'll take that. Okay. So bulk storage, this is how the bulk storage will look like. So bulk storage is like, as in the name itself only, whenever you have a procurement in the bulk or production in the bulk level, you'll have this one. Okay, so these are the items which will be distributed from, we'll do the distribution further. And the advantage with the bulk storage is like, it'll it'll optimize the storage space. Okay, and then there is no cost of the infrastructure also. Okay, so this can be, and how it can be determined, like, and how, whether it can be placed, whether we can use the bulk storage, or it depends on the product. Okay, this is on the material what we are storing inside the warehouse. Okay, so here we can see this is a phone. So we are able to place it here one upon one, so the, it will not create the damage to the bottom layer. Okay, you have kept one above one. Okay, and withstanding capacity of the product, one thing, and the name, the bulk procurement, how many, the size of the procurement also, size in the sense in the numbers. Okay, so based on that, it will be derived whether the particular part of product will be stored in a bulk strategy. So most of the time it's a very widely used one. So in, for example, the use case is like, you have a fertilizer company is there. So fertilizers are uh, imported, or it can be, it will be manufactured in a thousands of metric tons. Okay, that's one thing. And then we'll see the food and beverages also. And we have the chemical plants, for example cement or any other chemicals. For example, these are bags, are chemical bags. So you have this is underlying the stacks are there. So it can be kept on a, it is palletized. You can see on a pallet it's been placed, and then they're keeping it one upon one. Okay, this is one of the example of the bulk storage. And food grains also, food grains also, most of the food grain companies also use this. Okay, so when they'll be stacked. And then food and beverages. Food and beverages also, if you see, they'll be stored in this way, like one upon one. Okay, so they'll be palletized, and then the similar level itself, meaning Coke or Thums of the uh, food and beverage industry also will be using the space as like one upon. So in FG, when you receive, see the production of any Coke or Thumbs Up or any of these mm, production levels, if you see, there'll be thousands of cases they'll produce. Okay, and then they'll prioritize those things, and then they receive, and then they'll place, and from the plant immediately they'll move it to the next level, to the distribution center. Okay, so in the transit time they have to make that one unit, they have to place the stock in the plant or at the DC level also. Okay, so this is use cases for the bulk storage. And the bulk storage also, we have the standard storage type. And the one thing is like we take a storage behavior. The difference here you will see in the storage behavior is like to as a bulk storage. So, and then HU as a requirement, handling unit level, and the max number of bins, these are all the same itself only. And always it is the strategy which is used is the addition to existing stock, because it is a bulk one, so one upon one we are placing it. So addition to existing stock which will be taken as a the strategy there. Okay, bulk itself is a strategy. Inside that one, when you are taking the put away rule is like you'll take it as like addition to existing stock. Okay, and bulk will have a specific thing based on the behavior here. When you enter, then you'll see. So your bulk has got created. And further to this one, we have the next strategy which is a fixed bin strategy. Okay. So fixed bin, so we'll take it as like fx y0 fx y0. Okay. So the storage type role is a standard one, and here in the fixed bin, so this is a fixed bin strategy. So all the time the part of product which will be moved to or else it will be placed in a bin which is fixed for that particular part of material. Okay, so and we'll create the fixed bins also. Last time also I've shown you. I'll just show you. This is in the easy access extended warehouse management, mass data, storage bin. Here we have maintained the fixed storage bin. Okay, and assign the fixed storage bins to the products. Okay, these transactions will come when we come to the bin level and when we are executing a fixed bin inbound delivery level. Okay, so at that time we'll come to this one. So we'll create the bins and we'll assign the fixed storage bins to the products also. Means like a particular product has to be moved to that particular bin itself only. System will automatically recognize based on the bin which we have assigned to that particular product. Okay. So this is also a very widely used one, and the use case for this one also, like the common materials based on the a common material is like at every area. I mean at every um, production line, if you are using a particular product. Okay, so that is a kind of a common material. For example, nuts and bolts, and a kind of different sizes of nuts and bolts will be there. Nuts and bolts, when we name it as like, so there are number of sizes will be there in that one. In the washers also, there are multiple things which will be used. You can see some of the automobile industry or in the discrete manufacturing, some of the parts which are common one, and in the food and beverages also, and in some other industries also, electronic consumables, there are certain parts which are going to be on a regular basis in the production line, the consumption will be there. So they'll procure them all the time. Things like regularly procurement will be there. They maintain the stock also for them. So at that point of time, the fixed storage bin is the ideal one. They'll try to place that one because it will help in reducing the time also. So it's optimizing the system turnaround time. Means like the execution of the transaction. Okay, when you have to issue to the production, you can keep them near to the production lines and you can issue them fast, and then the user also can noted, because the fixed bins are noted, like I mean, we may not in a warehouse wherever that part is there, they'll have a noted thing in the mind that it's going to be available there. So that's why this is very widely used. Okay, so this is a fixed bin strategy, and here also the addition to existing will be taken. Okay, because here we are adding the stock. We have an existing stock and then we are adding the stock. Okay, so that's why it's addition to existing stock is taken here. Okay, and then we'll enter, and then we'll save. So this is the fixed bin has got created. After the fixed bin, we have the hazardous. Hazardous is like in the chemical industry and some of the pharma. Okay, so there are certain parts of material which are harmful to the human health. That's called as a hazardous first thing, and which attract certain EHS and complaints. Okay, so not necessarily every business may have, and some business will have the hazardous substance. It depends on the business line. We'll take it as like HL60. The role is the standard one, and storage behavior is also the standard one. And here you have the hazardous substance management will have one. Here it is like the system will check at the substance at the storage type level. The hazardous substance check at the storage type level. So system will check that one whenever anytime it is placing the stock. And then we have the whatever rule is like it will be taken as next empty bin, because based on the nature is like, okay, so hazardous nature material which will be kept in a different bins, like, okay, empty bin has got different levels, so there can be, this can be taken one example also. If it is a high rack one, this can be taken. Okay, your one bin is created according to the size. Okay, based on that one, hazardous materials, like, when they have all the dimensions will be available, like at what dimensions the warehouse will receive the parts of material, and how we have to store that one. So it can be, I'm just giving an ideal example. Okay, so there can be different kind of structures will be there for the hazardous especially. Okay, this is how exactly the structure may look like. So wherein the structure is created to place one particular pallet itself only. That's where your empty bin strategy will come in. Okay, and then further, once we give it, and then we'll enter and save. So in the rollout or implementation also, every time you have to go through, because in the landscape, uh, you have multiple kinds of warehouses are there, and each warehouse will have different kind of requirements into this. It's not exactly the same template you will see. So we see sometimes what happens is like nice on time at the core level, like in SD, MM, and FI, you will see across all the plants you have a same template. You just take the same template and you'll configure. But here in the, when it comes to SCM, there are multiple processes also will change, and the structure, infrastructure level also will change, and how the warehouse attributes looks like, and the processes, everything may differ also. For example, California plant to Chicago plant, it can be all the opposite side also. When you're creating these things, and when you copy that, so whichever is applicable you'll keep it, and which is not applicable you'll remove it from the system. Okay, so when you are copying the warehouse, okay, when you copy the warehouse, all the storage types will be there. And if supposed to be some of the warehouse does not have a bin, you can just select that one, and then you can click on this. Once you delete it, will disappear. Okay, and when we require to delete, we'll delete that one also. Okay, So here hazardous substance we have taken, and further we have the pallet storage. Pallet storage is like it's a very widely used at the FG level. Okay, the finished good level. Okay, so in the DC distribution centers mainly. So when you receive the parts of material in the manufacturing plant also, it will be in the pallet level only pallets you have received, and then you're distributing the only pallets to the customers also. There's certain parts of product, for example, food and beverage industry is there. So there you are distributing 10,000 cases to distributor one particular product, a brand, one brand, Thumbs Up, one brand, or Coke, or any Sprite, any of the brands. Okay, so when your business FG is like you're receiving in the pallets and you're storing the FG. It's FG is like finished good. Okay, you are storing that like this one. I'll show you the example. This can be also taken. Okay, one of the example like how the pallets are stored. And then it can be like open like this one also. This also, imagine this is also a open one. Okay, so the pallet storage can be level, and one more example is like this is also can be taken as a pallet storage. Here you can see all the pallets only we are storing here, entire high rack. Okay, so high rack, it can be taken as a high rack, it can be in the open area also. Okay, so there is no specific restriction for a pallet storage that you may specifically you can place it there itself only. Okay, so this can be taken as one example also, pallet storage. And the difference comes is like here in this one, it is we'll take that one, we'll take this one as an example. Okay, it's a perfect and proper example. So whenever you have the pallets are there, you entirely the storage type will be stored with the pallets itself only. It's not a cartons kind of stuff. For example, here, so it is a cartons kind of a stuff which is there. Okay, and then we have, so here also you can see small cartons. There's been like the pack has been moved and the loose parts also is placed. But here in the pallet storage, all the time will store the pallets itself only. So for that kind of a parts or products, we'll use the pallet strategy.
So
So
I
here,
have a question, Ram. Sorry
yeah,
to interrupt you.
yeah.
Is this each pallet storing location can be identified as a bin or not?
Yes, it can be identified as a bin itself only. So it is that's where we are using the next empty bin strategy here. Okay, empty bin. And the system will always determine the empty bin. Here if you see, system has determined an empty bin, and the forklift is placing the pallet in an empty bin. So this is one bin, this is one bin, this one bin, this one, like this. Okay,
So each pallet is representing one bin, is it?
pallet. So the structure is there, right? The structure is there, you're placing
Yeah,
a pallet. For example, this is the bin. Okay, in between these
I
two
can see
pallets, this,
there. Yeah, I can see there is a capacity to store 3 pallets, right? 3 full
so
pallets.
yeah, yeah. So here one bin is like what when where it is getting placed. You imagine that this is an empty bin. That's why system has determined this, and then the forklift is placing in the empty bin. Okay, the structure part you have to consider it as a bin. Okay, from here to here, like this.
No, but he asking about the concept for the bin, right? So see, there are 3 full pallets there. Each pallet will be placed in a bin. So in this
Yeah.
level, there are 3 bins, right? In each one.
Yeah, 3 bins.
Thanks, Oscar.
Okay, so these are 3 different bins what we have here.
But Ram, for
So
this we can have a structure or we can not have a structure also, right? For the
it,
pallets.
yeah, it can have a structure. It may not have a structure also. It's not necessarily required to have a structure.
Okay.
So here say supposed to be this one is a bin, okay, and then this one is a bin, okay, like that. So
Okay.
system always will determine the uh, space in it. So system will always determine the new bin, okay. That's why it is a empty bin.
Okay. And majorly we will use this for the finished goods, right? So which are all the process have been done and now they might have to move it to DC. So that's where this will come into picture.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So here we have the put away rule is empty bin, which we have discussed, okay, and the storage behavior here is a pallet one, pallet storage. Okay, and enter.
Ram, but how this storage behavior will actually impact? Maybe you
The
might have
storage
already
behavior,
explained it.
yeah, yeah. It is just one sec. I'll just change this one. TL70. So the storage behavior is like, we have 3 kinds of storages are there. We have standard warehouse, pallet storage, and bulk storage. System will recognize this one as a pallet storage and a bulk storage. So these two has got different attributes also. When we come to the inbound delivery, we'll reach there. So based on the storage behavior, system will recognize that. For example, bulk storage is there. Bulk storage has got we are maintaining the stacks also, okay. So how many stacks are there in the stack, how many levels you are maintaining? So for that one we have at the bulk storage also and the pallet storage level also, the based on this storage behavior will come in place at the inbound delivery level. When we come to the inbound delivery level in the pallet storage level, we'll discuss on that one, okay. So the storage behavior means like standard warehouse is like we have the high rack storage and rack storage and a general storage area, which are all coming at the standard warehouse level. Mainly the difference which is coming is like in the form of the storage, which is the pallet one, it is specific, which you will store all the pallets only. And then a bulk storage, which you will see a specific type of storage, which you will see as like we are maintaining in the stacks level, okay. So that will come back at the inbound delivery level again. At that time we will come back to this storage behavior again, okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
enter. Okay. So once we have done the pallet storage, then further we have done the high rack storage, the rack storage, general storage area, which been okay, hazardous and the pallet storage we have done. And further to that we have the multiple other areas also there, which will be creating them as a storage type and giving the role for them, okay. In that one thing is like the production supply area. So in the production supply is like whenever you see in the production lines are there and multiple production lines are there, every production line has got two things. One is like start and the end, okay. In the starting of the production line, you will see that we'll be issuing the parts and material to the production line, okay. For while issuing, we have to place them some area, so that is a production it's called as a production supply area, okay. So we'll create that as a storage type. Storage type like where exactly we place the parts or material at the beginning of the production line. Okay, that is a storage type. So you can take this one as like PR00 production supply. It is the role as production supply. Okay, so storage behavior is going to be the standard warehouse itself only, and the main specific thing is like here this will be used as a strategy as a general storage. So there is also no structured part will be there. It's an open area only. We'll place them there, and then the system will the production team will consume the stock. So that's why we'll take it as a general, put away rule as general storage area. Okay. And then we'll enter and say production supply has got see at the beginning we are issuing the raw material to the production. At the end they will be receiving it from the finished good from the production line. Okay, so finished good has got multiple kinds of things we'll see like. Okay, so how exactly the practical it look like is like once the production line is happening, it's going on. So they'll once the G is produced, it'll get palletized at a certain point it will reach, and from there the forklift will lift that one, pick that one, and then it will place in the warehouse. That's how exactly it will happen after the production is completed. When production line the production order is completed, then it will be take over, and take care after the takeover, then the goods will be issued, means that the GI will happen to the warehouse level. So we'll receive that stock. That is that area also where we are receiving, that is also production supply area for us, where we receive the parts of material. So that is a 1005. It is a standard as 1005. Sometimes you see these kind of thing, these storage types may not be changing, or sometimes it will be changing also, apart from the standard values. It depends on the business. PR05. So here, when you are issuing, it is a GI for you. I mean, it's a kind of outbound delivery for us. When we come to the production level, we'll discuss on that one. Again, we'll see the transaction. So when you are issuing, it is a the parts and material to the production line, it is GI, and from there when we are receiving, it is going to be the GR for us. We'll have an inbound delivery. GR05. So the role is going to be the same as production supply. Okay, and then the put away rules as general storage area. And save. Okay, so the PR05 has got created. So we have created the production supply area at the beginning of the production line, and we have created a PSA at the end of the production line for receiving the FG. And further we have the GR areas, goods receipt area, one second. The next one is like we'll see the GR area. The GR area will look like this. So this is how exactly it looks like. For example, in a warehouse, it looks like from the outside, the transportation unit has arrived and you are assigning it to a door. Okay. So through the door, the unloading will happen. This is a door. Okay. Outside, from outside, it look like this one. From inside, a door will look like this one. Okay. So once we receive it through from here, it is the entire area we are treating it as like a GR area. It is 9010 as a standard one. We'll treat it as like GR10 as a staging area. So this is how exactly it looks like. So the staging area has got a role. We'll take it as like GR10. And the staging area has got a role. Is a standard storage type, or here we have the staging area. D as a staging area. Okay. So sometimes we have an external step here which will come at the process-oriented storage control. Okay, process-oriented storage control IB01 means like unloading. So we'll come to that one when we come to the inbound delivery level. So at that time we'll come back here again also. And in the process-oriented storage control, we have a specific configuration for that one, which we'll do that. And then we have the put away and the put away rules here. It's like the general storage area. Here also we have seen that there is no structured part will be there. So mainly these areas will be considered as general storage area because we are not storing the parts here. Okay, they're just stage. We are just staging. By name itself, we are just staging, and then it will be moved. Okay. So this is the one. We'll enter. So GR10 is code. And this is at the goods receipt level. And then the goods issue level also, you can take the similar example I show you that. So this is the goods issue. Goods issue level also we have the goods issue area will take. Okay. So here it is, we'll take it as like GI20. GI20 will take it as like goods issue area. It will be called as an area or zone also. It can be called. The role is the D. Okay. And then we have the confirmation for put away. And then put away rule is going to be the same. So general storage area. And the OB03 is a step which is a loading step. Okay. So once we received it from here, from there we'll be loading that one. So that's why the external step at the process-oriented storage control, when we come to the outbound delivery level, at that time we'll discuss on this one. Okay. And then we'll enter here and we'll save. So GR10 and GA20 has got created. We'll take this one also like GR10. Goods receipt area, we'll name it as like. And then save. So for the GA area, we have a specific configuration also. So this GA area, we have seen how exactly it look like. And the GA area I'll show you. Okay. So imagine the same itself only. So we have stage the parts or products. Okay. And this is the door. Through this one, once the transportation unit arrives, we load these parts or material into this transportation unit. The similar way. So it can be taken at the both the levels. And GR also, GR you can imagine that we are received the transportation unit and we are unloading, and in the GI we have staged the parts or products. Staging is like you have outbound delivery. You have outbound delivery. For example, we have 1,000 line items of it. So 1,000 parts which you have. All the picking is done. You have staged the part or product here, and through this door into this transportation unit, the loading will happen. Okay, so that's where you'll do the staging here for the at the GI level. So once we have the GR and GI toasted, and further we'll see the staging area level configuration. Define the staging areas.
Ram,
So
sorry to stop you. I have a quick question. So,
yeah,
in terms of the physical location for the staging area for GR and GI would be two separate location, or
yeah,
there could be chances or location wise, the physical location wise the same always.
it's a two different one. It cannot be one. It is a two different one. Okay, so there are two. I'll just to show you this one. If you take this, example, this entire is a warehouse. Okay, so in this one, at this point of time, you have a door here, and this area is your GR area. Okay, so like this example, you have a door here. Through the door, you have the GR area. This is it is for the goods receipts, and here you have it is an outbound door. And there is a staging area here. It is a J area. These are two different levels. Okay.
Okay.
So Ram, one question.
Hmm.
So we have multiple doors, right? For a single staging area. So goods receipts or goods issue. So do we have to create a different like storage types for each door, or how exactly we will be able to know that where exactly the material is? So in front of door one or in front of door two, how we know that?
See there here it is like we have door is created as entire here, if you see. Just a second.
Okay.
So here you have,
Ram, I think you better connect your power charger. Otherwise, your battery will run out
it
soon.
will get, yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So here in the staging area, this entire area we are creating it as a staging area. And then these are all the door. Also, we'll create it as a storage type. In the next level, we'll create this door also a staging storage type. Entire area of door will take, and then under that one we have the door bins are there. So this is a door bin, door one, door two, like this one we have multiple kinds of number of doors are there. So under this one, when you are
Okay.
creating, you can create the bins also. In the GR zone is the one of the bin which will create. You can create multiple number of bins also, but most of the time it will be created as a GR zone only, and then based on the door wherever it is getting received, from there it will be picked and moved to the destination bins. It depends on the business. Okay, so we'll create the staging under the staging area. When you are creating the bins, you can create the multiple number of bins also. Okay. So we'll elaboratively discuss on this one when we come to the inbound delivery part. Okay. So as
Mhm.
of now, we are creating it as a storage type. In the storage type, we are taking it as a in the next levels, we'll come to the storage section and storage bins. Okay, when we come to the storage bins also, we'll discuss on the GR zone as a bin. We'll discuss at that time also. But as of now, we are on the whole, we are creating it as an entire area as a storage type. Okay. So here we have multiple kinds of assignments also will be there. That also we'll
Mhm.
look into.
Okay. Okay.
So here we have the this one. It got in reconnect again. Just a second, I try reconnecting again. So here we'll copy this one. So we'll give our GR10. Here this check is there, which is GR10, which is a very important one. So based on this one only, system will recognize that this staging area is relevant with the GR. Okay, at the inbound delivery level, whenever you have a GR is happening at the inbound delivery level, system will recognize that this is a storage type as a goods receipt area or goods receipt zone at the GR level. Okay, so this check is very important. You will enter.
So
and
can we
we'll
have
save.
both the check here?
Yeah, both the checks. No.
No, I mean
So
it is
there is a, so here you have GR10 and both are having a difference here. Okay. So we cannot give both like, so
so
unless it will create a confusion at the system level, right? So that's why
so
we have GR, you take one storage type. Maybe there are two levels. As you said that there is a business case also for this one, what the point you have raised. So there are certain warehouses where there cannot be a provision for two sites, as we have seen in the example here. So you have a provision for two levels. Okay, so we'll take a third example. The business does not have a provision to go for these two, and they can have only one bay. This is one bay which they want to use it as like a goods receipt level and the goods issue level. At that point of time, physically also you're using one space, but you need to bifurcate it is into two. You have to create as a GR area and GI area, both the, even though you are physically using it as one. Okay, in the door also will create as the inbound delivery door and outbound delivery door also. So at the GR level, we'll not be able to give both in one. Just one second. Okay.
and now what
So
is the
here,
staging area group? I mean
see, it is just named as a staging area group. But staging area group or staging area is the same itself only. In the general
okay,
terminology, what we call it as like it is a staging area. How exactly it looks like it is a staging area, and it will be
okay,
called in that one in the terminology they are given in the SAP is like it's a group. Both are the
okay,
same itself.
okay.
Okay.
Ram,
Yeah.
can you give me an example, please, when we use or flag it the GR or when we flag it the GI? We cannot flag it both, right? Only one.
Yeah. Only one we can give. So
Okay,
here
so
either GR or GA you can give.
okay, can you give me a case when I can use the GR flag it or the other one?
So here this is the one, like when you are taken it as a GR1. So this is a GR area. We are taking it as a GR area, and through the door when you are receiving, system will automatically recognize based on the check what we have given as that particular checkbox is there, right? So based on that one, system will understand that this is the inbound delivery and the GR area is this is the GR area for the particular warehouse. Okay, and GA area is also okay when you based on the check what we are giving here.
Okay, so both
Is
are
it,
stage, right?
both are
Both
not
are
same.
stage area, right?
See, GR will be recognized at the inbound delivery level, and the GI part, when you check this one for GI, it is outbound delivery. Okay, it is at the goods issue is at the outbound delivery, right?
Mhm.
So it's a other side of the coin. Both these checks are other side of the. For example, this person 9010 is a GR1. If I give it as a GI, so it will become GI.
Yes,
Goods
yes, yes,
issue.
I understood
Okay.
that. So both
So
area are stage area, right? GR
which one?
and GI are a stage area.
Yeah, staging areas. Both
Okay.
are staging areas
Okay, thank you.
where will be so this is the GR area where you unload. Through this one, once you unload the parts or products, you will unload here.
Okay.
You are unloading the parts here. You have a transportation unit
Yes.
like this.
So, but there is, I got confused because you mentioned that the GI area was the stage area, so both are a stage area.
Both are staging areas.
Outbound, right? Both are. Okay, thank you.
So in the GI area, we copy this one, and then GI 20 will take the staging area. And here we have a loading rule is there. Here we have three kinds of rules are there. Loading can start when the first HU has arrived. Loading can start until the staging has been completed. Loading cannot start until the 24 hours of the wait time have passed. Okay. So loading cannot start until the staging has been completed. We'll opt this one, the second option all the time, because most of the time in the warehouse we'll have two different level of checks also will be there. So even though we are having the highly sophisticated systems also, the KPI of main KPI of the warehouse and the functionality level also, that whatever the parts moving out of the warehouse, they'll check that one physically. They'll check that one. There's a warehouse supervisor or a warehouse manager, a particular people who are responsible for the see anything is any part of material is a money. Okay, so that's why they'll have a physical level check again also. So that's where we'll always opt for this one. Loading cannot start until the staging has been completed. So this is like you have in different levels, like in other level also. See, there are two different teams are working. There is a team which are working on the staging level. It's like they are staging the part at placing the parts. They are picking and then they're staging at the GA area, and there is another team which will work for the loading purpose. Okay, so in that level also, so you can engage one particular team at one job, and then once the one first team completed the job, then the second team will come in place and then they do their job. So in both the levels, we'll consider this one as a loading cannot start until the staging has been completed. We'll take this one, and then we'll enter and we'll say. So we have the ZR10 and the GA20 which are created. Okay, and then the next level we have the doors are there. Okay, so doors also will create them as a storage type. When we are creating it as a storage type, entire area we are creating it as a storage type. Under that one, the multiple doors will be created as door bins. We'll come to that concept when we come to the bins. Okay, now we are creating the entire door as a storage type. Here we have the doors, goods receipt and doors in goods issue. Here, this is a door at the GR level, goods receipt level door. We imagine, always try to imagine there are two different provisions which we have shown you like. So this is how the entire area of the doors will be there. You can have multiple number of doors here. There is one more door. This is a door. How exactly it is looking like here. If you see here, you have multiple number of doors are there. This entire area is taken as a door. We'll create one storage type as a door as a one storage type at the GR area level. This is the same example which we can take is like at the inbound delivery level. It is the inbound delivery door, inbound door, and then at the outbound delivery level, it is outbound door. Okay, so there is no confusion in this one. It's a we'll take it as like GR DR30 DR30. Okay, the role is F. The storage type role is F. Here, if you see, we have doors. Remaining everything is the same. It's a general storage area. What we'll take it as like a put away rule as a general storage area. Then we'll enter and save. This is done. And the next level, so we'll create the goods issue level door now. 904 is the standard storage type. And we'll take it as like DR40. DR40 doors in goods issue. The storage type role is F as doors. And then you have the step here, which is the OB04. Okay. And this is the process oriented storage control. And then we have general storage area and enter. Save. So you created the door at the goods issue, door at the, so we'll take this one as like DR40. We have created the door at the goods receipt level. We have created the door at the goods issue level also. So for example, we'll take this one. So this is this entire area which we have taken it as like DR30, which is at the goods receipt level, GR level at GR. And this is the one DR40. We created these doors. Here also we have doors. So only difference here is like as it is a generic level, okay. So in the GR level, we'll do the unloading. So here the part what will happen is like we'll have the unloading will happen. Once through this DR30, when unloading is happening, it will go to the GR area. Okay, system has to recognize this one. We'll see the configuration for this one. How the system will recognize. So we know that one. This one side. If you see a warehouse is like at the south and north. At the south side you have the entry. It is a GR level, and the north side is a goods issue. It will exit from there. Okay, but here the system has to understand whenever the parts or material is getting unloaded through this door DR30, they have to reach to the GR area, which we have created as like GR10. GR10 what we have created for the GR area. Okay, so we need to assign this DR30 to GR10, and then here also we have this is created as like it's a simple concept. We'll understand that one here, and we'll do the. So this is DR40 goods issue door, and this is a GI area. So this is GI20. GI20. So how these two are aligned? Okay, so whenever you have the parts are there, here you have the transportation unit will be placed like this. And you have the unloading, you have the parts of material has got staged here. System has to determine that this J area is assigned to this door. Okay, so the assignment is like it in the extended warehouse management, it's been done at multiple levels. Here once we have done the warehouse door with storage type here, we have the warehouse door configuration here. We'll define the door here. Okay, so here you can see in the one more concept which we have taken is like, so there is a DR2, DR3 and 901. Here if you see first level it's getting assigned. Okay, so we'll create our doors here. So we have done, see here the simple concept is like we are creating it as a storage type at two levels it is happening. Okay, we are creating it as a storage type, and after that, after creating it as a storage type, a door relevant configuration we are doing. So previously we have done the staging area as a staging area as a storage type GR10 and GR20, and we have done the staging area configuration also. In the same way, now we have created the doors DR30 and DR40, and we are creating the door relevant configuration also. Okay, so in the door relevant configuration, you are giving the defining the door here. So for example, we are copying this door, and here we have the we have created our is like ZR30, and the direction is inbound, and you are assigning the staging area also here. Whatever the staging area we have created is like ZR10. This is the first level which we are doing. There are three levels which we will do. Okay, enter and save.
Rob, Can you
Yeah.
elaborate a little bit more about the action profile?
Which one? This is, so this is action profile is like with the PPF actions. Okay. So this is not required to be maintained also. And this is system will automatically recognize this one based on the configuration itself. You need not add the action profile again here. Okay. And some of the cases, the action profile is some internally in the extended warehouse management. PPF actions are there. PPF action we have, it's a kind of chapter kind of stuff which we have. When we come to the PPF actions, we'll discuss on all these ones. So action profile will be there for the PPF action. Okay. So we need not, now we are at the staging area, storage type creation only. So we need not think about this one. Okay. So we'll come back to that one PPF actions. At that time, we'll discuss on that. And it's not necessarily required to maintain also. Okay. So based on the configuration, here the important thing is like we have to understand here the warehouse door and the staging area. Both are getting assigned to each other. Okay. So this is the one first level. In the second one, we have the DR40. So the direction is outbound direction, and the staging area what we have is like GI. We have created as GI20. Okay, we'll enter this one, and then we'll save. Okay, so we have the two things. We have the this one we created as GL1. We created as like DR30, right? So we have DR30 and DR40 which we have created. Okay. So here first level the assignment is there. There are three levels of assignment is there. We have the next level is like we are assigning the staging area and warehouse number here again. Okay. And then there we have another configuration is also there, like defining the staging area and door determination groups. Here we'll define that one. And then we'll be assigning the staging area to the door determination group. This is happening at the three levels. It is based on the architecture. I mean, it's like most of the time, even in the plant assignment also, even company code to plant assign, plant to company code assignment, or plant to purchase of multiple levels, sales of assignments. You have one level of assignment itself only. One time if you have done, it's more than enough. But here it is done at three levels because it is the architecture. In the architecture, they have used this one as at the three levels. Okay. So we'll take it further. We'll continue tomorrow with the staging area, further assignments to the staging area of the and the door determination group further. And then we have the work center is there. So work center is something wherever the work is happening, like you have the inbound delivery, we have the deconsolidation is there, quality inspection is there, multiple kinds of the work centers which we have in the standard one. Okay. So we'll see all the work centers. Here we have the deconsolidation, quality and counting, packing in the goods issue, scrapping zone, and we have a value-added services at the GR area, value-added services at the GA. Consumption means like GA. All these work centers we'll see this one, and we'll configure the work center configuration. In the same way, just like the staging area and warehouse, we have the work center level configuration is also there. We have a work center layout and defining the work center. So in the defining work center also multiple things will be assigning to the work center will be defined, and here also the same concept will be creating it as a storage type, and then the work center relevant configuration is there. And then further we have the add configuration. Tomorrow we will be discussing on the work centers, staging area and door assignments further, and then work centers. The work center will be discussing on all the configuration part with the as a storage type, and then the work center as a work center configuration, work center layout, and work center defining the work center. Further, we'll work on the ad management. Okay, how we'll define the ad and structure of the ad. Okay. And further to that, we'll be discussing on the activity areas. Okay. So this is we'll continue further on this one tomorrow. Then any questions for today?
Yes, I have a quick one.
Yeah, sure.
So just now you were saying that staging area and staging area group is almost same, right?
See,
I,
the terminology what we use is like as per the SAP, it is called as a staging area group. Okay, but for us is like it is a staging area. We'll just term the usage term is staging area. So in that one, there are two levels they have maintained. Staging area, under that one they have maintained it as a staging area group. Under this one, they have maintained the staging area as a section. Okay, in the next level, when we come to the section, I'll explain you on that one also. So there is a section part is also there. Under that one, it can be bifurcated into section, and it can be further bifurcated into a bin. Okay. So the terminology of SAP, what they have used in the configuration is like as a staging area group, and the in
Ram,
usage.
just sorry to stop you. Correct me if my understanding is wrong.
Hmm,
So looking at the picture, let's
hmm,
consider this is the east side loading bay, right? And
hmm,
the very big warehouse, I have a multiple loading bay or unloading bay. This is considered east side loading bay.
hmm,
So I have this is the GI staging area. So I have staging area 1, 2, 3, 4, like a 10 staging area. So
hmm.
can I group all this GI staging area as a one staging area group, like east staging area group, west staging area group, or something like that? So that
Yeah, definitely,
huh?
definitely. Here, definitely here you are creating them as like a storage type. Okay. So, for example, here. So in this one, this entire GR area, whatever it is there. Okay. So the entire area, what you're grouping it. Okay. This entire GR area, multiple doors are there. Under that one, whatever the area is there, we are collecting. So you can create multiple storage types in the GA area. You, as you said that you are using, you have east side is like, and then there is a within that also you want to bifurcate further. You can create multiple storage types also, multiple storage. See, this is the terminology which is used in the SAP is like the storage type creation as storage type group, staging area group. I'll show you again in the system. The IMG.
It's okay. I got it. I got it. No worries. I got it. Clear now.
Clear, right? Okay. So any further questions? Anybody?
Yeah,
Okay.
good.
So if not,
Yeah, no, Ram,
we'll
I'm good.
continue tomorrow. Yeah, tell me.
No, Ram, I said I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, sure. So if everybody is good, we'll be continuing tomorrow from the staging area and door assignments and further work centers, ad configuration and activity areas. Further, we'll continue tomorrow. Same time, we'll join together and then we'll continue tomorrow. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
दिल्ली मोती डोगी दादा